Today's talk is going to be very, very interesting and also very, very important. The topic for today's talk is, if you can't find truth, then find love. Either will do. Either will bring you to the same place. If you can't find truth, then find love. Now, that raises a very interesting question. How do you find love? What do I mean, find love? Okay, so you can't manufacture love. It has to be authentic and genuine. At the deeper levels of presence, of course, you are love. It's that your true nature is to be love. So how do you find your way to your true nature? How do you awaken to your true nature and open into love, which is the truth of who you are? How do you manage that? How do you accomplish that? The answer is you go through a process of bringing to conscious awareness all the ways you are not love. For example, you notice you're speaking a little harshly, or you're judging, or you're criticizing, or you're too strongly identified with your opinions and beliefs. None of this is love. So you need to bring it to consciousness, bring it to awareness as it's arising. Whatever doesn't feel like love, is not love. Own, acknowledge, confess. Ooh, judgment is arising, not love. You just do that over and over, day in, day out, bringing to consciousness, in a sense, who you're not, in order to reveal who you truly are, because you truly are love. So what is keeping you from living the truth of who you are on planet Earth? Why would you not? So it's just an ongoing process to own, acknowledge, confess, reveal every aspect of yourself that is not love in the moment that it's arising. Now, when I say confess, who shall you confess to? Confess to a tree or a flower or a chair. It doesn't really matter. Confess to a door handle, anything that is of the present moment. Don't bother confessing to people who are in their minds and lost in their own dream. That's not going to help you very much. Now, another aspect of how do you open into love is by having that intention. You have to embrace and embody a very deep intention to open into the truth of who you are. It is absolutely essential, because we are so habituated to living in the world of the mind, living in the past, the future, with all our human traits and characteristics, all those negative aspects of our personality, the ego, all of those things that keep us in this world of illusion and separation, which is the dream, which is the story, which is the past and future world of the mind. So that's the process. How do you open into love? Bring to conscious awareness all the ways you are not love as you live your life. Now, you must not judge yourself. If you judge yourself, you lose, because judgment will just keep you in the separation, and it's very clearly an aspect of you that is not love. Judgment is not love. And so what do you do if you notice judgment arising, or you're being hard on yourself, or you're trying to fix yourself, anything like that? What do? You just own, acknowledge, confess. Ooh, judging, being hard on myself. It's like you're whispering or communicating to every part of your whole being, and to God at the same time. And it's okay to communicate and confess to a tree, because really, in truth, a tree is nothing other than God in the form of a tree. Everything in physical form in the present moment is the body of God. So don't be afraid, or don't be hesitant to confess to a tree, a flower, a bird flying by. It doesn't matter what it is, but own, acknowledge, confess. Now, let's go to truth. If you can't find truth, then find love. Well, how are we going to find truth? And the great irony of it is that you follow the same process. Whatever arises within you that is not presence, love, truth, and oneness, own, acknowledge, confess. Your beliefs are not true. Own them, acknowledge them, express them, and then acknowledge that not one belief you have, not one opinion you have, not one past experience is true, not one future imagining is the truth. So what is the truth? Where is the truth? It is here now. It is you utterly present in this moment of now. Your mind is silent. You're utterly present with what is here. That's as close as we can come to the truth. And then your experience in that moment is truth revealing itself. The present moment revealing itself. The truth of you opening up and revealing who you really are in truth. For in truth, you are love. In truth, you are the energy of acceptance and compassion. There's no judgment in you whatsoever. And you're essentially, by your very nature, you're kind, you're loving, and you're generous. So anything that is not that, own, acknowledge, confess. Do not judge it. Judgment is one of the biggest obstacles to your awakening into love or truth. Now, ironically, you'll find yourself in the same place, whether you find truth or whether you find love. You'll find yourself in the present moment, one with all that is and one with God. Okay, so it really should be a joyful, joyful journey. And your commitment and intention to awaken out of the dream, to find your way to the truth of who you are, the truth of life, the truth of love. The only way to come out of that, those habitual patterns that we've been lost in for so many lifetimes, is a soul level longing for truth and love. A soul level longing for the truth of who you are. A soul level longing for a return to God. The only catch is the soul at some level, some unconscious level, thinks it's a return to heaven, but it's not. It's a return or an opening into heaven on earth. That's the whole point of our journey, from heaven to heaven on earth. So whether you find love, whether you find truth, I can tell you, if you find truth, then you found love. If you found love, the truth of love, which essentially is impersonal. If you found love, then you also found truth. Just relax, enjoy. It's so simple, and really simple and easy, as long as you can get beyond judging yourself or fixing yourself. You see, fixing yourself is a form of judgment. The truth is, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Therefore, why would you fix yourself? The truth is, you're already a fully awakened being. You just have to become present enough to realize that, or make it real, reveal it. It's that simple. Okay, now I have a number of questions, and I'm just going to begin with the first question, okay? And I apologize that I'm not looking directly at the camera because the camera is on my computer, but I'm looking at it now. And it's so beautiful to be present with others, it really is. Even if I can't see you, I can sense the presence that is really occurring between us, even over the internet. There is a presence here. Everything in the present moment is the body of God. Bring yourself present with the body of God. That's everything in the physical moment. You will begin to experience the living presence of God in all things present. God is here now. God is the silent presence at the very heart of all things present. God has zero to do with religion. That's a man-made invention. And I think it's the correct terminology to say man-made, although not all men are responsible. Anyway, we won't go down that path. So the first question is from Patricia from Minnesota. Dear Leonard, it is wonderful to listen to you. I have a curiosity about sleep and dreaming. Since we spend a third of our lives in sleep, it must have an important purpose besides rest for our body. Is dreaming a way to work out issues or for learning specific lessons? And what's the role of our ego in dreams? Okay, well, you've almost answered your question, Patricia from Minnesota. Yes, let me talk a little bit about dreams, and I don't want to present myself as some expert on dreams or sleep. Absolutely not. But I've had, like anyone, I've had my share of dreams in the past. I don't dream a lot anymore. In fact, I don't think I may not dream at all. If I do, I'm not. It wouldn't be very often. And that's neither good nor bad, or here nor there. There's no law that says, oh, as you awaken, you don't dream. So what are dreams? So there's a number of different kinds of dreams. There are dreams that are essentially completely and utterly meaningless. They're just flotsam and whatever. They're just arising and disappearing, and you engage in it perhaps, but it has no meaning, no depth. You let it go. It's not worth worrying about, not worth considering. Then there's another kind of dream, and this is more common, where in the dream, you're actually working through unresolved issues from your life or from that same day. For anything you were not willing to experience fully, anything you repressed, feelings of anger or feelings of desire, sexual desire, any kind of desire, or resentment, blame, all of these things can manifest in your dream. And in a strange way, it's meant to loosen something up within you. It can also be delivering a message. But that's how we process at an unconscious level things that we're unwilling to process at a conscious level. Now, my suggestion is process it all at a conscious level. Why wouldn't you? If anger is arising, express it, don't get lost in the story. If hurt or sadness, resentment, blame is arising within you, express it, feel it, just don't get lost in the story those feelings are telling you, because none of it's true. Okay, so sometimes dreams can be very deeply profound and meaningful and are delivering a soul lesson to you. It's probably opening up from the soul or even from another dimension of you that's already fully awake, because you are all multi-dimensional beings, whether you know it or not. And right now, you exist simultaneously in different dimensions, and you're living out the same dream in these different dimensions until you awaken from the dream. And when you awaken from the dream in this dimension, which is you here living out your life in physical form on planet Earth, when you awaken from that dream, all the other dreams will awaken. They'll all just dissolve into truth at every level of your multi-dimensional existence. It's really worth waking up in this lifetime. It's really worth freeing yourself from the dream. So the last category of dreams, these that are very deeply profound soul level messages, revealing in a different way, using symbols and metaphors, etc. It's not always apparent, but those dreams that I'm referring to, they're not frequent. They happen maybe once or twice in a lifetime, and particularly as you begin to awaken. There's the awakened dimension of you might be working things out for you in the dream state or providing a clue for you. I could mention a couple of my own dreams that were like that in my early days of awakening, but we don't have time and it's not that important. So let me go to the next question, if I may. This is from Nerdosh from Denmark. Nerdosh says, "Hi, Leonard. I would like to know if I'm on the right track. I can come to a state of no thought, but I cannot say I feel connected with everything, more a feeling of nothing. Sometimes it feels great, sometimes colder and kind of harder. Am I more spaced out and gone instead of being present? Love, Nerdosh." Well, that's another good question, Nerdosh. And you don't want to overthink it. The truth is that your mind and your ego don't know what presence is. Your mind and your ego wouldn't know what's present. So when you start questioning, am I present with my mind, you're not necessarily going to find the answer there. But at a deeper level, sometimes I'll ask students of mine or people in a retreat with me, and they'll say something very similar to what you did. Am I present? I'll ask them, are you present in this moment? And there's kind of a not a clear answer, not sure. So then I ask, are you sitting in a chair? Oh, that's easy, yes. But it's the same with presence. Are you present? Yes. You feel it. You're here. Your mind is silent and you're utterly present with what is here. Now, sometimes it's going to feel great. Sometimes you're going to be overflowing with love. And I mean an impersonal love, not directed to one person or one thing, but it's an impersonal love that embraces the whole world in a way, or everyone that you encounter within the world, everything you encounter within the world, or within this moment, I should say. It's very easy to feel intoxicated with love as you open into the deeper levels of presence. And the reason for that is because you are love. One of the lines in one of my books, I don't remember which one, it simply says, oh, no, I can't remember. Love is like the full moon on a cloudless night. It casts its light, it shines its light upon all without selection or discrimination. Everyone is included. No discrimination, no selection. Love is impersonal in this way. And you are love. So it's so easy for you to open into love where you look at the chair behind me here and suddenly love is looking at the chair. I know that sounds ridiculous. Or the plant behind me. If you're really present and you relax, you can feel the love. It's there. It's always there. So allow love to arise and rise within you. Allow bliss, ecstasy, whatever, but don't hold on to any of it, because sometimes being present is very ordinary. Now, I wouldn't describe it as Nirdosh does. Sometimes colder and kind of harder. Maybe you're looking to just relax and let it be quiet and peaceful. It's not cold, it's not hot. Let it be neutral. It's not great, but you are in a state, perhaps you're in a state of nothingness. I think that's what you said. Yes, it's more a feeling of nothing. Well, if you have a feeling of nothing, you have a sense you've opened up into nothing, that's God as nothing. Just give thanks. God is everything. That's what feels so great. But God is also nothing, which is infinitely and profoundly peaceful and silent, and one with God in the silence. Do not be afraid of the silence, the nothing, the nothingness. Relax into it, and if you feel it, I mean, the mind doesn't like, the ego doesn't like this nothingness. It's spent your whole life keeping you away from nothingness. So don't fall for the ego's tricks to pull you out. Just relax and enjoy, embody, embrace the silence. Be that silence. Be that nothingness. You see, I'll tell you who you are at the very deepest level of awakened presence. You are pure consciousness, beyond form and beyond content. You can't think about that, but you can experience it. In fact, it's who you are at the deepest level. Pure consciousness, beyond form and content. But wow, have a look at the form you can be present with. Go for a walk and enjoy nature. Enjoy the trees, the flowers, the sky, the bird, the dog. Enjoy it all, because that's the world of form when you're present. But it's only available to you moment to moment. If you want something that's not available to you in the moment, then you have to go into the mind and access your memories, your memory of whatever it is you're looking for. You access a memory, the mind knows it, you're happy, you feel content, you know it, part of your body of knowledge, or you can go into an imagined future as much as you like. But God can't offer you any of that. All God can offer you is this moment. The ego can offer you so much more. The ego can offer you hope for the future. It can promise you it will help you to heal the past. It offers so much: a new dress, a new car, a new house, whatever it is. The ego is the great pretender, and it's full of false promises. Now, I don't mean to say the ego is intentionally making false promises. That's just the way it works out. The ego is doing its very best to get the very best for you, but it can't, because it's focused in both the past, trying to make it better in the future. That's the ego. So don't judge the ego, don't condemn the ego. Just say, thank you, ego, I love you too, because I am love. That's all you need to say. You can say that to a tree, you can say it to a flower, I am love. But if you say it to a human, make sure you say, I am love. No, I love you. I love you because I am love. Because that's the truth of who you are. Okay, so I would suggest no dosh, you just relax, enjoy when it feels great, and enjoy when it's very silent, and let it be soft, not hard. Next question is from Maria from San Francisco. Okay, so Maria asks, is it, I'm not even sure I can say this, antithetical, did I say that right? And antithetical to being present, to be engaged with online entertainment, in brackets, live streaming, movies, videos, internet, etc., for regular and extended periods of time? Well, it depends. It depends on you, really. It depends on how can you watch a live streaming movie, and then when it's over, you turn it off and you're back to presence and silence? No problem. You can even be somewhat present as you're watching the movie. Now, when you're working on the internet, answering emails, or doing some complex internet type task, well, of course you're going to be in the mind. You have to be in the mind. And if it's too much, then it will be antithetical, that's right. It will be antithetical to presence if you go too far. Just find balance. If watching live streaming movies or videos on YouTube is if it's a real obstacle to presence, then it's also a problem for me, because I love movies, and there are certain TV shows or YouTube shows that I really enjoy. In fact, I'm going to confess, this is a terrible confession I'm about to make, on live television. One of my favorite shows on TV, it's actually a lot of it I watch on YouTube, I feel it just touches me so deeply, and I feel so wonderful, and I feel so much love and so much celebration. And you know what that show is? America's Got Talent. But almost as good, if not just as good, is Britain's Got Talent. Now, what is it that I love so much about those shows? It's the passion, it's the commitment, it's the intention, it's the love coming from the audience. When somebody does a reasonable presentation on America's Got Talent, or the other one, the audience goes crazy. They're celebrating each other. We celebrate you for your singing, or your ability to jump in the air, or whatever it is. There's so much celebration and love. Support for each other. That's what we need in this world. We should all be celebrating. Next time you go for a walk, tell somebody, I celebrate you. Even if you don't know them, I celebrate you. You are a wonderful human being. Learn to celebrate each other. If you can't celebrate others, nobody's going to celebrate you. So be generous, celebrate. And that's what I love about it, and the passion and the perfection and the beauty of some of the presentations. Okay, so that's my confession, folks. I apologize for that, but that's how it is. Okay, so just find balance, Maria. You know, you're still going to be living in the world of time. Just don't get lost in the dream. And then every now and then, or if not frequently, come out of the dream, come out of the world of time into the timeless world of now. The timeless world of now. The present moment is the doorway to the timeless world of now, to the eternal now. The eternal now. And if you're present enough, you will sense the presence of God in all things present. But if you're in the mind, in the dream, then you have to create God in your own image, believe in that which you've created, which really means you're believing in yourself as the creator, and then pray to God that God will rescue you, save you, or bring you a new dress or a new car. Now, I shouldn't really be dismissive of that, because there are so many people involved in religion who are genuinely sincere and who love God, love Jesus, love Buddha, whatever it is. You know, all of that's beautiful. The problem is it's the authority behind it all, the religious authorities behind it all, and the doctrines and the rituals and the practices. They're all obstacles. If you want to pray, be present. I would say being present is the highest form of prayer. It's like standing before God and whispering, I am here now. Do with me as you will. And I can tell you, I uttered those words many, many years ago. And they're a continuing commitment on my part. God, do with me as you will. Now, sometimes it gets a little frustrating because God ain't doing anything with me, but maybe I just don't recognize what God's up to. And you have to be very, very responsive to the present moment, to be in alignment with the will of God. Do with me as you will. Be present, be responsive. There'll be notice, there'll be signs and signals everywhere. Even a sign on the side of the road will suddenly speak to you. There's always many ways that God will communicate with you once you enter into that state. Beloved God, I am here now. Do with me as you will. Now that reminds me of the very beginning of the Lord's Prayer. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's what this is all about. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Of course, what that brings into play is the realization and the revealing of heaven on earth. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next question. This is from Mark from New South Wales in Australia. Leonard, what you say about anger, to liberate it, not deny it, is refreshing. You counsel us to never express our anger to someone else overtly. Is there a way to consciously let someone know we are feeling anger? Best wishes, Mark from New South Wales. Okay, Mark, that's another very good question. And the important thing is, there's nothing wrong with feeling angry. If you feel anger, that's a feeling that's arising with you in the moment. But you have to recognize and realize that almost always the anger is not what you think it is. It's something from the past that got triggered by something that someone said or did in the present. Somebody said or did something that triggered the anger that's repressed within you. So allow the anger to express. Let it tell its story. Let it blame. Let it judge. Let it kill. Let it destroy. Whatever the anger wants to do. To anyone who hurt you, because that's what anger is really about. Whenever we feel hurt, we go to anger. It's a way of avoiding the hurt and punishing those that hurt us. Let's get them. Okay. Now, as long as you're having fun and you don't take any of it seriously and you don't get caught up in what anger is saying, then you can liberate anger. And eventually, the reservoir of repressed anger buried within you will be emptied out. Then something interesting happens. Something still might happen in your day-to-day life. Somebody might say or do something that you feel a little bit of anger, but it's not joined by a reservoir of anger from the past. So you can respond to the anger in an intelligent way. The anger will last about 3 seconds and it'll deliver a message. What is anger's message? You're not getting what you want, or you're having to put up with what you don't want. So instead of getting angry, speak out. Express what you want in a loving, calm way, or express what you don't want in a loving, calm way, no problem. If you're empowered, that would not be a problem to express that. So that's really my whole approach to anger and the liberation of anger. Now, don't be surprised if as you allow this anger to surface, and you're present with it and you're not caught up in its story, right? You're not identified with its story, but you're letting the anger express through you. It's almost like you're an instrument of expression for the repressed anger within you. You help it out, exaggerate it, ham it up, be ridiculous, take it over the top. But the one thing you never do is dump anger on anyone under any circumstance. If you're feeling angry and you know it's in relation to another person who did or said something, maybe your wife or whoever it is, or a friend, right? It's okay to say, "Oh, anger has been triggered within me, so I just want to explore that." You could even tell them, "I'm going to go home and kill you 3 times," but I know it has nothing to do with you. Your offense was simply you said or did something that triggered the reservoir of repressed anger within me, and up it comes. And I think you made me angry, but actually it takes me back to my father or my mother. Unresolved anger, unhealed anger, unreleased anger, repressed anger from those early days. So when somebody makes you angry, let me correct that. Nobody can make you angry. All they can do is trigger the anger repressed within you. Once you liberate that anger, very hard to make you angry. It really is. Same with hurt. Now, once anger comes up, and as anger liberates from within you, it's releasing. You're not getting rid of it. It's just you're allowing it to complete its journey through you. That's all you're doing. I repressed you many years ago, anger. Now I'm allowing you to complete your journey. It won't take long, maybe a minute or two. That's all it is. Now, underneath the anger, don't be surprised if the feelings of hurt and sadness arise, or pain, because the anger is on top of that, holding all of that down. Now, if you let the hurt and the sadness and pain arise, then underneath that is going to be tremendous happiness and joy. But you won't know that until you allow it all to surface. The anger, the hurt, the sadness, the pain, none of it can hurt you anymore. None of it. Something from the past can't hurt you, but in the dream it can, because in the dream you're still in that past where you were hurt originally. You might even be in a past life where somebody cut your head off in a battle, and you can't understand why today you've got sort of a tight feeling around your throat. Now, don't take any of that too seriously, but we humans need to learn how to come into right relationship with anger and right relationship with all those associated feelings related to anger, like resentment, blame, revenge, rage. These are all aspects of anger. Also hatred. Hatred is like anger that's become cold and hard and solidified. And you stand behind that in your righteousness. That's what happens. So we have to come into right relationship with all of it. So if resentment is arising, same thing, express it. Have some fun. Go out and tell the trees how much you resent them. Then let it go. And slowly, every time the energy of resentment arises, you won't be so involved. You'll just notice it. Oh, resentment, judgment, blaming, revenge. Have fun with it all. The moment You're conceived in your mother's womb. You have gone astray. It's the beginning of going astray. Every human living on this planet has gone astray. It doesn't mean you can't find your way back, but we have to acknowledge how astray we've gone. We've gotten ourselves lost in a dream. And things like greed and competitiveness and more, and me. Isn't it all about me? That's the way of the ego. That's where that's where humanity is at. Somehow we've all made ourselves the star of our own stories, of our own dream. And I'll tell you a little secret, which I find somewhat humorous, is the more present you are, the more awake you are, the more the trees become the star of your story. Or the sky, or the clouds, or the bird, or the dog, or the elephant, or the door handle. It really doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you're present with, it makes no difference. And if you were to have a moment of full awakening, you would no longer exist. Only isness exists, and you would have become utterly and completely immersed in isness, in the moment of now. You're just as much of the present moment as any tree, flower, or anything else. You become of the present moment yourself, immersed into the moment of now, immersed into oneness and isness. Now, I'm not holding that out as a carrot to anybody. That's what happens as you become more and more deeply present. But humanity is so lost. We are so lost. We've been lost for so long. And truthfully, if we don't respond to the urgent signals that Mother Earth is giving to us right now, then we do so at our own peril. And so many of us feel helpless to do anything about it. Well, I'll tell you what you can do about it, about the state of the world and the state of humanity. You can wake yourself up. That's the greatest contribution you can make to healing all the damage that we humans have done upon heaven on earth. If only we knew who we really are and where we are, we would be shocked by what we've done in our unconsciousness. Anyway, that's all for now. A little bit of something for you. This is, it looks like it's reversed. It says, Liberating Jesus. What would Jesus say if he returned today? Now, if you want to have yourself a whale of a good time, buy this book. It's only available on Amazon. Buy it on Amazon. And also watch the video. There's a video on leonardjacobson.com/liberatingjesus. It's free. And we're getting so much feedback on it and so much a very positive response to people who are ready for a much deeper level of truth regarding the teachings and words of Jesus. And it's shocking, but it's also extremely enlightening and liberating. So, Liberating Jesus, if you do purchase it on Amazon, and if you do love it, please be sure to leave a comment and a review on Amazon, please. Okay, so we're going to close it up there. My love to each and every one of you watching, and my blessings. And we're just present in this moment. I am here. You are here. I am is here. Silence, peace, presence, love, oneness. I am that eternal silent presence of pure consciousness. I am that. I am. And of course, the I am of me is indistinguishable from the I am of you, or Buddha, or Jesus, or anyone. There's only one I am. And that one I am expresses so beautifully in so many different ways. Each of us a wonderfully unique expression arising out of the oneness, but expressing uniquely as the individual, the unique individual that you are. Just like the world of flowers, there's really only one flower, but that one flower expresses in a multitude of ways, in so many forms and varieties and colors. It's the same with trees. There's really only one tree, but that one tree expresses itself in so many beautiful ways all across the world, in so many different forms and varieties and colors. There's only one man, there's only one woman, there's only one male child, and only one son, only one daughter. Each son a beautiful expression of the one true son. Each daughter a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful expression of the one true daughter. In a way, we could say that's the divine family. Mother, father, daughter, son. And eternal peace, eternal love, eternal oneness. That's who we really are. Okay, so thank you for watching.